Yeah, I can see it
It's
now.
like,
Hey, Fish, we are definitely live here. We are in Ocean Isle Beach, North Carolina. We are here at the Silver Coast Winery. They're actually having a craft fair behind me here. And Fish, you know how much I'm into crafts, hardly at all. So I'm here for the wine. So I got a nice Calabash White that they have here. Mm, love that. It's afternoon now, so I can have some wine. Um, but it's a gorgeous day here. It's actually kind of chilly, but nice day, and it's not like Vegas because I know you're in the 90s again, aren't you?
yeah, it's 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 a scorch. It's funny. I'm talking two Alta talkers here talking about the weather, but it's supposed to be 95 today and then
Wow,
70 tomorrow. So one of my
wow.
people walking around with sniffles all the time in Las Vegas. We're having we get a lot of that in April. It goes
Yeah,
from hot to cold, and then from June, as you know, you lived here from June to September. It's
yeah.
105 every day. You could just pencil it in.
A lot of allergies too, no doubt about that. All right, so hey, a lot going on. Certainly, we got the Masters going on, and wow. First of all, Tiger is still the main story, even though Scotty Scheffler has got a five-stroke lead. What are you thinking about that?
Well, it's just what the networks wanted. I mean, I always tell you when you watch, let's see the crawl below our thing. It says we're on Spotify, Facebook. Here's a crawl. I always look at the crawl on the leading stories to try and help our podcast. It says Tiger in 19th place on the lead. Then it
Yeah,
goes to something else and it comes back. Scotty Scheffler leading the match. It's great for golf. I always said I'd never use this word, but I'll use it. I can't believe this when I heard it this morning from Hannah Storm's mouth. But when he makes the cut now, the ratings are up 81%. There is
yeah.
not a greater figure for a sport to give it prominence than Tiger Woods. And it's a great story, but you know what it's like. You play golf. Well, I call you the guru of golf, John. 19 back, 19 place is tough. I think he's what, 9 strokes back?
He is 9 strokes off. Yes. Mhm.
Right. It's rough.
Perfect. And it's can it be overcome? Possibly. I don't know. Scheffler's playing really well, but you're right. Just the fact that he's out there playing and he made the cut. I thought there were a couple of moments yesterday early in the round and then later in the first round that I was like, I don't know if he's going to make it. And towards the end of the round yesterday, he was really strong. He was hitting the ball well. Brutal conditions down there for a while. I mean, it was like it was at the Players, and the wind was horrible. I think it's going to be better today. It's still going to be chilly. They have the same weather we're having here. Like we're not even hitting 60 degrees today here in North Carolina in the second week in April. I mean, that's incredible. And to be honest with you, Augusta is on the same latitude as we are, so that's the type of weather they're going to have today as well. So we'll be watching it, but. At the same time, too, people have been talking for the last 2 years that Scotty Scheffler could be the next superstar coming out. And I didn't pick him. You picked Colin Morikawa, and Colin's still in it. He still has a good
Hence,
chance.
hence.
And,
Right.
and not only that, here's the interesting thing. When he won the U.S. Open, this is how far he was behind going into the third round. So he could still do that. So your pick is still a really good pick. Colin was actually my second pick. I picked Schauffele. He didn't even make it. But I think today's going to be real interesting. Certainly, the cameras will be on Tiger, but I think a lot of it's going to be on, does Scotty Scheffler hold on to the lead? Does he build on the lead? Which I have a sneaking suspicion he might. I think Tiger has been the best thing for Scotty Scheffler because all the attention is off of Scotty. It's on Tiger.
3 points. DeChambeau and Spieth didn't make the cut. That shocked me. I have a question for you, and then basically a statement. Is Jordan Spieth going down the path, John, that David Duval did? That he started out so great, and now it's hard for him to make cuts. He came onto the scene in gangbusters, and now I mean he's struggling a lot. It's a shame to see because great talent. Ricky Fowler didn't even make the tournament. He
Yeah.
couldn't even make the. I mean, you're seeing these young studs that are getting a lot of endorsements, but they're kind of fading. Let me ask you this. I'll get your point on that. Why is it Scotty Scheffler? Why isn't it just Scott?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I guess maybe his dad was Scott, and he decided to call himself Scotty. So that's about the only thing I can think of. But
Why is it Scotty? Because that's what Captain Kirk sometimes called Mr. Scott on Star Trek. Are they tricky? I don't know.
Yeah,
Danny Fish is going to get to the bottom of this
yeah,
breaking stuff.
yeah, definitely will.
What about Speed? What's your take on Speed, John?
I think Spieth is. I think he's still got talent. I think there's something going on in his head because his putting game is horrible, and that was his strength. I think, and he's resurrecting his swing. He's changing it a lot. So I think you'll see him come back. I think it'll be a while.
Right.
Ricky Fowler, I don't know. I didn't get the Ricky Fowler thing. I mean, I thought for sure he'd be around for a while. And if you think about it, 2 or 3 years ago, I mean, he won the Players Championship. So I don't get it. DeChambeau, I think DeChambeau's got some injuries. I think he's trying to do that long drive thing. I think hurt him. I think hurt him in many ways. And will he be around? Probably. I don't think he's going to be as effective because he's got to change his game. He's got to go back to a regular game, not this power game.
Okay, yeah, I totally agree. That's a take. But now, again, we got to check out this crap. Check out, guys, show this comment by someone you know very well. They got married. Mary Williams Daly, someone who's a tremendous producer extraordinaire of the show. She gives us great insight. They got married. So if they got married, that means that John and I are a couple of schmucks who listen to our wives about this podcast. We're married too. I love it. They got married. So you mean maybe because I got married, they had a lack of sex, so that means they couldn't drive their putters? I don't know what the hell's going on here. You know what?
Well, a lot of and Rory McIlroy is saying the same thing too. Is that he's in a better place now because he's married, he's got kids. I think. And my wife Terry's right. Once you've changed it around, your practice habits are different. You're going to be doing things differently than you did originally when you first came out of college and you were first on the PGA Tour. So there's a lot of truth to that, and I think they've got to get used to it. McIlroy now is talking about how he thinks he's ready to start playing really well. If his putter doesn't work, I don't care whether you have kids or you don't have kids. If your putter's not working, it ain't gonna change things. He's gonna need to turn things around.
You're not going to have any kids if your putter's not working.
Well, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Especially, and if you don't have a very stiff shaft either, too.
I love the way this is going. Wow,
yeah, we're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, you have to have a stiff shaft and your putter working if you're going to be on Wingding TV.
That's right. Go check on Wingding, and because Wingding is an app, it's a free app. Go check it there. You can go see Daily Fish. It's another one of the networks that are putting us on, and so we're excited about that.
Right, very excited.
Cool.
What else you got?
What are you excited about?
Real quick, talk about where you're at right now. It's gorgeous down there. You talk about a crafts fair. These look like they have tents, John. There's like people that have selling trinkets or making little like clay. Stuff that you put on your mantles and stuff like that.
Yeah, it'd be stuff you'd be decorating in your house. They have these bottles that you can paint. They have different how you can paint glass. There's some flowers here. There's some if you're looking, and I know you love this too, is the candles, the scented candles, because I know you really enjoy being around scented candles. So you would enjoy that. I'm going to look for that for you, by the way.
I love jasmine. The smell of jasmine. To get it, pick one up. I'll put in a Daily Fish tab. Which you pay anyways. No, that's great. I like when you go to these certain events. You got your great glass of white with you. Any food there, because I will not go to an affair unless it's food. That's why the San Gennaro Festival, which I'll be out in the fall. I love it because it's all about the food. Any food there?
The food is not here yet, but there is a food truck on its way that will be here. So, you got to be here. And we were talking at one of the other events I was at, and I showed you Bad Eats, that Mexican place. They were actually trying to get them here, and they couldn't because they were so filled up. And Bad Eats I think is getting a lot of publicity because they were on Daily Fish.
Oh, great. Well, speaking about eating, yesterday was brilliant. I ate a big sub sandwich, and I watched the Dodgers beat the Rockies. And I got a bone to pick with you.
Okay.
Because the two sports that I go to John Daly for knowledge are golf and baseball. Two tremendous sports, all right? John came on either on a conversation with me or on a hook or on our show. I'm getting old and I forget things. But he isn't that Craig Kimbrell's going to work out. So Craig Kimbrell comes into the ninth inning to save the game. Yeah. And I saw his stats. 8 straight All-Star, got a ring with your Red Sox. He has 372 saves. Oh, by the way, got the save yesterday.
Yeah.
372. The guy behind him with the most saves actively is Kenley Jensen, who went to the Braves, who has 350 saves. Okay. What made you say Craig Kimbrell wasn't going to work out when everyone in the league thinks he will.
I think he's been falling the last couple of years, and what happens with him is he takes a dive in September and October. So that's primarily Craig Kimbrell is a great reliever. He's a lot of fun to watch, and he can be very effective. But at the same time, too, for the amount of money I think they're paying him towards the end of his career, I think it's a lot. Is it a good choice for the Dodgers? Absolutely. Would I like to have the Red Sox have him? Yeah, there's a part of me that did. I watched the Yankees-Red Sox game yesterday, and what I loved about the Red Sox was everything except their bullpen, and they don't have a closer. And that's going to be the thing that's going to be their downfall this year. So I applaud the Dodgers for getting him. I don't think I would pay him that much, give up that much to get him, because even in the 2018 series, he was horrible in that series. If you remember, you know who was the closer? It was Chris Sale. Chris Sale closed out the last game. They did not have Kimbrell do it because he was ineffective. So at the same time, too, Craig Kimbrell, great career. You're right. All the stats there.
Hall of Fame numbers. Hall of Fame numbers right now.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
I mean, maybe you're right. I hope you're wrong. The Dodgers are loaded. I mean, you can't take them away from one day. I watched the Yankees. I went back to Nesson, and I went to Big Homer, Michael Kay on Yes Network. And the Yankees won in extra innings. I did not know this. I thought this was not happening, and I'm really extremely pissed off. I might talk about it on our Something Fishy. So they kept during COVID in extra innings. You put a guy on second base to start the extra innings. I am totally against that. I don't know how you feel about that. That is just. I know they want to keep the games, but it's you know what? There's got to be ways to decrease the game time wise. A pitch clock, Dodger game yesterday was 3 hours and 28 minutes. I'm not eating meat.
Well, I think.
Game, what's your take on the guy starting second base? I'm against.
I'm kind of on the fence. There's a part of me, and I heard Tom Verducci talk about it yesterday, that he's actually in favor of it, and it was kind of like, okay, yeah, I kind of get it. As long as it's even, you're gonna have to do a bit more strategy. So the runner's on second, nobody out. What do? Well, you bunt them over, and you get him to third. Then somebody hits a fly ball. Okay, you got the run in. If you've got a really good relief pitcher coming out for the bottom of the inning, that's a strategy. We don't have much strategy. So I like what Verducci said. On the other hand, I don't like what it does to statistics. To me, I think it throws things off. So if I come out in the top of the 10th inning, I could get charged with a run just because they put a guy on second base. So I'm not crazy about that as far as the stats go. So I get where you're coming from. I'm still on the fence. I would prefer a pitch clock and do a pitch clock and not have the runner on second base. I would rather have that.
And again, we go back. We talked about what the collective bargaining, the whole impasse, which was a joke. All the owners wanted was a salary cap and a pitch clock. The players won that. Now, supposedly the pitch clock is tabled to 2024. Manfred, please do something and get it in this game by 2023. What I took away from yesterday was a phenomenal scene I saw at Coors Field. First of all, I had a shot of the Rockies in the background. It's a beautiful day in 65 degrees and sunny, and you got the Rockies full of snow. And for somehow, Joe Davis is doing the game for the Dodgers. The guy named Eric Karros. Remember Eric Karros?
Yeah, sure, first baseman. Great, really good first baseman, power hitter. Yeah,
exactly. So doing the game, and they look at this, and they showed a lady and a man get served this wonderful plate of steak nachos at Coors Field. Nice. It looked like steak nachos. You get it here at Chuck's Tavern. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I mean, and you know that nachos are great, John, because you go out to all these different restaurants, you put on Daddy Fish. When you don't have the pickled jalapenos, these jalapenos are real, and the guacamole look real. And you want to. This is at a baseball game. If baseball games are serving this kind of food, it'll help attendance. I'm telling you right now. That nachos looked so delicious. I want to jump on the screen and eat it. And the way they described it, I thought the way Joe Davis described this girl eating the nachos, I thought my heart goes out. I thought that Vince Scully was back doing the Dodger games. It was great. We'd have opening day back. You're there. We got a great Masters. We got a great third and fourth round. Wishfully, I see Dustin Johnson's in the fold too. And hey,
yep,
you're right.
He's got a shot at
my guy Matsuoka. Whatever they say, hell, you say his name. He's three back.
No, did you say Morikawa or Matsuoka? You said Morikawa.
I said Morikawa and Matsuoka. I had both the guys. I had the Pacific Rim when I talked about it. So both
and
guys are in contention. Well, something's going to happen. You know, so you said it's a crazy. You've been there, right? It's a crazy course, right?
it's great. It's a great course. It's great. And I always tell everybody, don't go during the first through the fourth round. Go to the practice day on Wednesday when they have the par 3 tournament and walk the course and see what it's like. Because again, 1 through 4 rounds, 1 through 4, when they're playing the actual event, you don't see much golf because there's so many people there. You'll pick up some golf, you'll hang out at one hole, but to me, that's not what I like. I want to see the entire tournament. So that's what I would tell people, is to go that. But it's a great, and one of the things you don't, I think I mentioned this before on the show, you don't understand how hilly that place is, and it's a trudging walk to walk that entire course. And if you go and walk it, you'll understand. You'll also understand, what Tiger's doing is absolutely incredible. That, he's got half a leg and he's literally, walking on these very, very steep hills. It takes an awful lot out of you.
Well, and he's a phenomenal athlete. But anyway, so I tease this to everyone on Facebook and YouTube and all our listeners that we're gonna talk about opening day madness, Tiger on the prowl and prowl, and we'll end it before you take us out on no tears for the Lakers. I cannot believe, and everyone knows, Bailey, and I get a lot of comments on this, that I watch everything in the morning. And when the Lakers were eliminated, you would have thought on every single outlet that's on TV on ESPN, that was the only sport. They're still talking about it.
Yeah.
You got to move on, NBA. Hardline, who can't be here, says he's traveling, he said, if you get one thing in for me, he goes, 2 things. Rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins. Poor kid died today, got hit by a car. It's horrible. Ohio State quarterback. My wife's Ohio State. It's a horrible story. So I said, rest in peace. We'll pray for his family and his wife. And the second thing is, please tell everyone that we got to stop. We got to move on from the Lakers. Let's talk about the teams that are going on in the playoffs. The great story, the Phoenix Suns. Milwaukee's going to make a run. The Brooklyn Nets now, I think right now, I want to ask you this. I'll get your opinion. The Brooklyn Nets, Milwaukee, Cleveland's going to be a neat team coming out of the East, John, and the West, Phoenix. I think if Steph Curry, let me ask you this. If Steph Curry gets healthy, John, do you think that the Golden State Warriors are going to be a factor in the West?
If he gets healthy, he will. Otherwise, I got my money on the Suns. I think the Suns are a really good team.
Huge.
Yeah.
Get rid of those. And the Lakers, come on. I'm from LA. I like them, but enough. If we want to watch some good Lakers stuff, we're going to give you a little binge watching. I'm binging Winning Time, building the Lakers dynasty. I showed you what Adrian Brody did for Pat Riley. But the thing is absolutely brilliant. And just yesterday, breaking news, he got up for a second season. I thought this was a limited series. The ratings are so terrific. They're making, and you could do it. You could take this is all about the Lakers' rise to their first championship. They had a hell of a run, So that's great. And then you know what, John? We got a great show Monday. Why don't you tell everyone what this guest we're going to have?
Actually, you got the particulars on it because you're the one who got him. So I'm going to let you talk about him. His name is Eric Mathis.
It's a collective effort. Not you or me. That comeback. Casey Evans, one of our biggest fans, that comeback against the Jazz. Yeah, tremendous. He's another one. Loves the NBA, and we'll have more about that with the Hardline on Monday. Eric Mathis is going to be on the show. I met this kid a few years ago when I was bartending, and he came out. He's a war veteran. I think I don't know if it's Afghanistan or Iraq, and he goes, I'm into horror films, and I have a relationship with Tony Todd, an actor, and he's done films with this guy as an assistant director. Now he's directing. He's got the Macabre that's in the can. He's doing another one called Rougarou. The name he'll come on. The name of the villain is Rougarou, who kind of looks like Chewbacca and Bigfoot put into one with Shaq's face. So imagine that coming at you. Imagine that coming at you.
I love that.
Yeah. What? Imagine that coming at you, grab you and saying, if you don't do the General's insurance, I'm going to bite your neck off. Shaq represents. And Shaq. Shaq's a great, great man. So Eric's going to be on the show. Heidi's going to talk about what a gatekeeper is. That's very intriguing to me, what a gatekeeper is in Hollywood.
We don't know.
Hardline's going to give us some good odds on the NBA playoffs and some really good futures as far as prop bets you could bet on baseball and hockey. And then the grind, fishy. It's going to be a great show on Monday.
We got some great stuff. That's right. And folks, just so you know, Daily Fish is live on Facebook at daily.fish.5 on Mondays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Watch us also on Facebook on the Myrtle Beach Golf Channel and Myrtle Beach Grand Strand Life. Check us out on YouTube, and also, like we mentioned before, Wingding TV. You can get the app for free. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart, Stitcher, and Amazon as well. Boy, we're really expanding. This is going to be our 51st, 52nd show.
Blessed. I make fun of you all the time, but like Brad Grunberg on a great show. No, Brad Grunberg said something that was great. When you make fun of somebody, Don Rickles told this person, Don Rickles took him under his wing. When you make fun of somebody, it's a form of flattery. I love you. And do 51 for you to put up with me, and some of me is rubbing off on you. Okay, you're farting on camera, and you have a better sense of humor.
Yeah, and I get the sniffles a lot now.
If I could have your looks with my personality, okay, we'll sell the show. All right, buddy.
It's already sold, pal.
I hope that food truck gets. Is your beautiful wife with you down there?
She's not. No, she's at home watching Daily Fish and punching in comments all the time.
Well, good. Well, she gives us some. She does. Terry Williams Daily gives us great feedback on the show, and we're gonna get her. We're gonna get your Pacific Rim brother-in-law Robert Duvall Jr. on soon. I want to hear about. There's supposedly, real quick before we go, there's a couple of really good Japanese baseball players that are trying to get out of Japan and get into the major leagues.
Yeah.
And one guy, can't think of his name, John Williams will know. I don't want to brutalize this guy's name. Makes Ohtani look like a double-A player.
Wow.
So,
wow. That's impressive. I saw Suzuki with the Cubs opening day, and he actually looked really good and played well against the Brewers.
Right.
Cool. All right, pal.
Hey, last thing for you, take us out.
Okay.
What's your comment on the Nats? The Nats had they've beaten the Mets 4 times,
Yeah, I know.
And there's a lot. The great thing about baseball that I've never seen before, John, we actually have 2 minutes. I know this has happened before, but the trash talking in baseball is getting to the point that it is in football. It's really bad. Could you imagine? Tell people what it was like if you trash talked Bob Gibson, the great pitcher for the Cardinals back in the 60s. What would have happened to you?
Oh, you were on your butt in the batter's box, and if you didn't get into the batter's box quick, he would tell you that. He would tell you to move in there. And I actually had some time with Gibby before he passed away, God rest his soul. And he was the nicest guy in the world. But man, you put him between those lines, he was tough. I do think there's always been some trash talk going on. I think the fact now that you can hear it and you can see it, I think that's what's happening. I don't know that it's any worse. I think that they're just, they're like the rest of society. They're getting angry. People are just getting angrier now. That's all.
Any worse? I never knew what you could do with the baseball bat to someone's mother. And I'm not talking about hitting them with it. Okay, it's bad. I'll tell you what Bob Costas said, the great Bob Costas, and you'll take us out. He said, if someone trash talked Bob Gibson, it'll be the first time you ever saw a pitcher run to the plate, knock the crap out of somebody. It's usually the guy brushing the pitcher,
Oh, yeah.
And it's in the Nats and the Mets. This is something to keep an eye on. You know what? We talked about WrestleMania a couple of days last week, how huge it is. Maybe we can get the baseball into a steel cage, play the games there, and increase ratings. Nice.
Well, what's really interesting is Scherzer is pitching for the Mets now. And so I don't know.
John,
I don't know.
The baseball, that's a dangerous weapon. A guy throwing 100 odd miles an hour at you, that's dangerous. So you can't try to talk all you want.
Here's what's more dangerous, though. The National League has gone to the designated hitter, so the pitcher does not get in the batter's box.
Right.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
So you're going to be throwing at other players.
Good point about anger society. All right, buddy.
Okay, pal. Love you too. We're gonna see everybody at 6:00 on Monday Eastern, 3 p.m. Eastern. Daily Fish. We got a great show for you then. Thanks for tuning in with us right here.
Someone.